Okay, so a lot has happened. Oh my gosh, there's a bird that landed like right outside the window. It's staring at us. Go away, freak. Um, so a lot has happened since I think my last one was 15, 14, 13. It was probably my 12 week update. And yeah, so like as far as in personal life, 12 weeks, Isla, I think, had a double ear infection, and my husband had taken her to the clinic for that because I had a crazy day at work, and I want to say he actually had the day off. He was on spring break, so that worked out really well because otherwise it's a lot harder for him to leave work most of the time than it is for me. But he took her there. She had a double ear infection and pink eye and had kind of like some bacterial diaper rash or something. So she was like in rough shape, and we had her on meds for, you know, like amoxicillin for 10 days or something. And then she was okay. And then my husband woke up and he thought he had pink eye one day. So then he went to the clinic and he also was put on amoxicillin. And of course I was just like, you guys stay the F away from me, because I can't take like all of the, you know, hardcore meds that, you know, they might prescribe, like if I were to get sick. So I would be worse off, and I didn't want to get sick. Like, I'm pregnant, I don't need, that's the worst thing in the world. I remember with my first pregnancy, there was only one time, like with Isla, that I got sick, and it was the worst. I ate I know exactly what it was, and I didn't even think of it because I didn't know. But we were at a restaurant and I ordered these chicken tacos, and they came with like that little crumbly like fresco white cheese or something. And I didn't know that that's like certain types of cheeses you're not supposed to eat when you're pregnant. And I mean, I knew it, but it never, like, it didn't dawn on me when I got the tacos that would fall into the category of cheeses that I should not eat. And so I ate like 2 out of 3 tacos and didn't really feel well while I was like, as I was finishing the second. So I just thought I'll take the third home and eat it later. Well, that was probably, we had dinner, you know, at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And by like, I just felt like the tacos were sitting in my stomach all night. Long story short, I wake up a couple hours after I go to bed, and I spent the whole night on the bathroom floor. And that was the worst thing in the world, because at that point I was farther along than I am now. And there's nothing worse than trying to squat over the toilet with a big belly. And every time I threw up, I peed. And maybe I've told this story before, but it was a low moment in my life. And so anyway, I don't want to get sick. Like, I don't want to be sick at all while pregnant. It's just not fun. But then I did get something. I kind of had like a sore throat for a couple days, and that was about it. So I really stayed in the clear of them, but I did a lot. Like, I was taking Emergen-C and extra zinc, and obviously I have my prenatal that I take every day. And then making sure that I'm practicing really good hand washing and like cleaning things all the time around the house. So hopefully I stay away from that. But today Isla is home and she has an ear infection. Daycare had called me yesterday when I was at work and said that I had to come get her because she had a really high fever. So I took her to the doctor's office, and it was even higher at the doctor's office than it was at daycare previously, like a couple hours before. And she was just beet red and radiating heat. And of course, to any parent, that is alarming, because you're like, oh my God, what's happening to my kid? But I read a really interesting article about fevers last night, and it was kind of one of those things that it reminding me that, like, it's not the fever that you fear, it's what the fever is fighting. Like, the body gets a fever because it's fighting off something. So like, you shouldn't be afraid of, you know, like a fever is kind of supposed to be seen as a good thing, because that way you know that the body's reacting appropriately and that it's fighting off some sort of infection. but you should be more afraid of what that infection is. So I took her into the clinic, and she ends up having an ear infection in one ear, and so we're staying home today just because I want to make sure that her fever stays away, because at home I can obviously give her the alternating doses of Tylenol and ibuprofen. But that has been half the reason why I haven't filmed, why I didn't do a 14-week and instead just skipped right along to 15. But in addition to that, so today is Wednesday, and not 2 days ago Monday, but last Monday I had my first prenatal appointment. And so I was 14 weeks at that appointment, like according to my records. And some people might ask why I waited so long. And I think I talked about this in another video, that I didn't feel like there was any concern. And like, fortunately, I didn't have any issues with Isla, my first pregnancy. So I didn't see the need to rush to the doctor's office. And so I didn't. But I did go in, and we were able to see a little picture of our bean. We don't know what it is yet. He or she was facing the back, like my back. So this was like the only glimpse that we could get at all. We couldn't see anything else. And then at that appointment, then they pegged me at more like, I think 14 weeks and 4 days. So I was measuring a little bit further ahead than like my apps and calculations had thought. So, hi little girl, are you standing up on me? Now she's moving around all over the place. Let's see. So symptoms, not really. I love this tea, but I just brushed my teeth. And so like that fresh mint flavor is not good. I have you probably can't see it, but it's like a purple passion tea, and it's a little tart. I love it, but it's tart mixed with mint. It's not a good mix. Symptoms, I don't really have any. Cravings, I would say I've definitely like have subsided. I haven't had any like real cravings for a while. There isn't anything. I don't know. With Isla, obviously, I only wanted sweets. Like, I could just destroy a box of cookies. I don't feel that way with this baby, but I also don't feel like my usual non-pregnancy cravings are salty things. And I also don't really feel that way either, but I'm just trying to keep I don't know, I feel like I'm gaining weight a little bit faster this pregnancy, and so I'm trying to kind of monitor that more now that I know earlier than I did with Isla. I found out with her when I was 19 weeks along, and that, you know, that kind of caused, I don't feel like what in the world? Come on, man. I don't feel like I gained and I mean, I gained 50 pounds with Isla, but I didn't feel like it. And I didn't really feel like I looked like it. I don't know what other people thought, but like for me, that 50 pounds came off relatively easily afterwards. I mean, I definitely got back down to my pre-pregnancy weight within like 6 months. And, so to me, that was like, you know, 50 pounds seemed like a lot. And the number that I saw on the scale, like the day I went into the hospital, was the highest I've ever seen myself weigh, of course. But I knew that, you know, this was all, it comes with the territory. But anyway, the second time around, I just kind of want to make sure that I'm monitoring that more and being more mindful, because I also realized that maybe this time around, I'm not going to have, my hair just seems like it's doing crazy things today. I also know that this time around, you know, I'll have 2 kids after I have this baby instead of just the one, and time will be limited, and I won't have all of the, you know, I probably won't have the extra energy that I did after having just 1 kid. So I don't think that the weight will come off as easily the second time. who knows, but I don't feel like that, so I just don't want to get like carried away with it. But yeah, I haven't really had any cravings. I've been feeling pretty energetic. I've been like, I'm on last week I worked out Monday through Saturday every single day. I had Sunday off. And then so far this week, I worked out Monday and Tuesday. And obviously right now it's the morning on Wednesday. And I plan to get a workout in today later. And that's really nice. Like, I'm feeling good. This is the most consistent that I've been since becoming pregnant with this baby. And that is nice. Because there was a week, there was a while, I mean, like weeks 5 through 9 or somewhere, where I was not feeling good, and I just did not see, like, I did not see how I was going to get working out again. Like, I just could not. And I will admit that when I started last week, like Monday and Tuesday and probably Wednesday were really rough. I was definitely feeling out of shape, may have shed a few tears, just feeling a little like weak and hopeless, but my body is strong and my mind is strong and my willpower is strong, and I know like I can get where I need to go. I just push myself, and my bodies are amazing, and my body is amazing. I'm thankful for it, and it goes in the direction that I push it if I'm dedicated to it. So been trying to eat balanced. Occasionally I've tried not to keep as much crap in the house like the last week or two, and that's been working really well. And so I actually have found, I will say, like, the one thing that sounds really good all the time are sunflower seeds. I love like the kettle roasted original sunflower seeds, and I've had those probably every night. Like later after dinner I put Isla to bed, and that's been my like night snack is sunflower seeds. And it's actually really nice because it's enough where it keeps my mouth busy, where, you know, like I feel like I'm eating, and I am, but I'm not chowing down on ice cream or chips or whatever. So that's kind of been my go-to, I think, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm craving them. But not really any cravings, good energy. I am showing a little bit more. I do feel like there's definitely like, I mean, I wouldn't even consider it a bump though at this point. It's just like more of a blob sticking out. So if you knew that I was pregnant, you'd be like, oh yeah, she's showing just a little, like. But if you didn't know that I was pregnant, it still totally looks like I ate a big pizza. And that's what I've been working with like the last week or two, and I will maybe continue to work with that for another week or two. We will see, but I feel good, and that is about it. Sleeping well, sleeping hard, I'll say. Like I've been trying to be better with my sleep, and I think the workouts have something to do with it. I always notice that when I'm more consistent with my workouts, I sleep better because I'm kind of exerting that extra energy, and my sleep, I just have like rock solid sleep. So all those things combined are working well for me, and yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So that's my 15-week. I guess a 15-week, maybe it makes sense to maybe go to 17 at this point, maybe even 18. I don't know, but thanks for watching. Little bump. It's a bump.